What the funder said, part 27. So the next line is two controlling hands. Could be the number 2 as well. I've already mentioned the links with dirt, etc. Thinking of control as in mission control, and it just gave me the sense of something being returned to the rightful place or owner. The next line, I sat upon the shore, so we're with the Fisher King, and we're also returning to the earlier female on her shores because of the chair she sat in earlier. Fishing with the arid plain behind me, so the Fisher King sitting on a riverbank injured. The arid plains from Joshua earlier perhaps, but behind me is like, get behind me, Satan. Matthew 16:23, also linking the stumbling block to Satan. Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan, you are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." I think the arid plain could also relate to set, which is possibly mentioned next. Shall I at least set my land in order? Which also comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 38. Thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Live and let die, live and let live. I think that was a Bond film as well. But I think in this passage that was all about get behind me, Jesus is talking about there about everyone must die. Everyone who thinks they're going to live will die, and everyone who thinks they're going to die is going to live. So London Bridge is falling down a lot. I've said before, I associate London Bridge with the Queen or the monarch. Earlier we had a crowd or a mob over London Bridge, so related to the idea of the host, and then it was falling down, falling from heaven. Then there's a Latin line from Dante, beginning with poi, which I think translates to, then he leapt back into the fire, which refines him. So the idea of the fire as the female cleansing force, not hell. Maybe the pain that Cicero, whatever his name was, moaned about earlier. Yeah. And then these other lines, therefore do I implore you by that power which guides you to the summit of the stairs, be mindful to assuage my suffering, then hid him in the fire that purifies him. So here, stairs are also associated with newt, and it like denoting transitions between realms. Quando fiam su chelidon, that was perfect. Oh, swallow, swallow. I'm not sure if that's an instruction. That was taken from Per Vigilum Veneris, which is translated, when shall I become like the swallow, which refers to the story we told earlier, this idea of regaining your voice. The hieroglyph for swallow is something like which means to know, which I think is near enough to new, so we could say, oh, new, when shall I become like new? Everything new under the sun. I think at this point Eliot thought he was getting graded on his language skills, because now he's quoting French. Le prince d'Aquitaine à la tour abolie. Once Prince of Aquitaine, my tower undone. So another reference to the tower, Migdol, made me think of Eleanor of Aquitaine and other variants of Eleanor or Helene, possibly the torch. And there's a reference to the prince in Tarot as well. I'm not sure which one. I have more.